Yo, what's up, ladies and gentlemen, fight fans? Welcome back to SBAA Nation, where we break down the baddest UFC battles. My name is Keith, aka Keystone, and this Saturday, UFC Vegas 106 is bringing the heat with a welterweight war in the main event, where we have number 9 ranked Gilbert Burns versus the undefeated number 15 ranked Michael Morales. We're diving into the pros, cons, and who's walking away with that W in the main event. Buckle up. Hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, hit subscribe. And as always, if you want my top picks and slips, head on over to winnable.com/SBAA. You can try out this VIP UFC weekend pass that I set up with limited availability, get you every single slip that I send out, which we've been absolutely on fire in recent events on with some of these slips. As you can see on the screen, this was from a couple weeks ago when I was in UFC Kansas City live at the event where we saw Ian Machado close out the main event in a very tough fight. This was from last week with Jack winning over Bilal. We had a little parlay, what I call the safety parlay I set up last week that ended up hitting for big money. We hit this from UFC Kansas City where I was live. And we just also dabble in all sports too. We have a bunch of slips that look just like this on DFS and UFC. These happen to be a couple MLB slips. So without further ado, let's get right into this main event. First up, we got Gilbert Dorino Burns. This dude is a beast, an old beast at that, coming in at 38 years old with a 22-8 record, a BJJ black belt with 9 submission wins on the resume. He's got knockout power in the hands as well with 6 knockout wins. Burns has recently fought absolute killers in Usman, Bilal Muhammad, and Sean Brady, but he's only been finished once in his last 7 fights. His cardio is ironclad. 5-round wars are his playground, literally. But hold up, Burns is on a 3-fight skid, and he's 38 years old. Like I mentioned, he is showing some wear, slowing down a bit, perhaps. His striking defense been a little shaky recently. And that last weight cut that he had in his last fight, it just wasn't a good look. Now enter Michael freaking Morales. This kid is a problem in the division, coming in at 25 years old, 17-0 record, including 12 wins by knockout, including a performance of the night KO in his last fight over Neil Magny, where he knocked him out in the first round. He's got a staggering 8-inch reach advantage at 6 foot in this matchup. The dude has crisp boxing. It'll probably make you dizzy if you watch it too long. Morales is young, he's explosive, and he's also hungry. But there is a little bit of a catch here, I think. He's never quite faced a grappler with this kind of veteran pedigree like what Gilbert Burns brings to the table. He's also never gone 5 rounds, and this is his first main event. I don't know if he can handle the spotlight, the pressure, the nerves. I suppose we'll find out. So, who do you think has the edge? Let me know in the comments what your pick is as we get on to what I'm about to give you with my prediction. Early on, I do believe that Morales' speed and reach could light Burns up. I'm thinking clean jabs, maybe some big right hands. But Burns, at the same time, is a crafty vet. And if he can drag this fight to the mat, it's literally BJJ masterclass time. And he could test Morales. He maybe even gets a tap out of Morales. I highly doubt it, but you never know. It is a fist fight, after all, ladies and gentlemen. The odds are coming in heavy on Morales at the moment at -850 as a favorite, which is actually crazy. But don't sleep on the experience of Burns. You never know. That's a big freaking spread. My gut is saying that Morales is going to keep this fight standing. I think he's going to defend the takedowns. I think he's going to have that massive range advantage and use it, just touching up Burns along the way. And we're going to probably get a thunderous right hand at some point. My final call, my prediction is that Michael Morales will win this fight by a round 2 or round 3 knockout. But I do believe it's going to be a banger and it's going to be fun. So let's get straight over to that DFS slip that I have prepared for you guys. So if you're not on Underdog Fantasy yet, boys, ladies, imagine walking into any casino in America and handing them $1,000 to get chips to play at their table or on their game. Well, if you hand Underdog $1,000, you're going to get $2,000 in return. It's an awesome setup. You get that offer with the use of promo code SBAA. There is a link down below that will do all the work for you. And if you do sign up, my number is actually down in the description. you're also going to get an automatic invite into one of my best ball NFL drafts that's going to be hosted by me, where you'll have a chance to win $200 for absolutely free. So that sounds good. Let's get into the picks. Okay, so as you can see with this slip, this is what we call, and it's a very powerful strategy in sports betting. This is what we call a correlated slip. I believe it correlates. And I am a little surprised that Underdog is allowing us to do this, because most of the other sites are not allowing this style of correlation. Now, if you don't know what that means, let me explain. It can work in many different sports, including football, baseball, even in things like esports. But with the UFC specifically, there's a couple ways you can attack it. And I have another strategy that's reserved for the VIPs that's going to be over on DraftKings Pick 6. They're the only ones allowing me to do this different strategy. But this one right here on Underdog is also very powerful. And I wanted to share this with you guys. I don't know how much longer this will be here. This is the kind of thing they could patch next week, where they don't allow us to do stuff like this anymore. So let me explain. As you know, with the prediction, I think Michael Morales will probably win this fight in the late second round, early third round. I think that he is going to find a shot and take Gilbert out with a KO. So what that means, if you just go run some basic math on Gilbert Burns' strikes landed per minute throughout his career, plus his natural, ability and wants to kind of get into grappling wars, I think that if the fight ends before the third or fourth round is over, there's no way that Gilbert Burns is going to reach 46 significant strikes. I've also noticed historically that in these smaller Apex events, the people who tally these significant strikes seem to not quite count as many as they do in the bigger events. It's just something I've noticed, and it could just be a very small sample size with a little bit of recency bias baked in. But let me explain to you how well I think this truly does correlate. So if Michael Morales finishes the fight, he has a very strong chance with a second or a third round knockout to go well over these fantasy points. And if he does that, he's going to hit the fantasy points. Well, Burns is not going to hit a significant strike line because the fight ended too soon for him to reach it. It actually does correlate extremely well, in my opinion. And if Morales does, let's say I'm wrong and this fight ends up going, much, much later, maybe even into the fifth round, and it goes to a decision or something. Well, there's a chance that Morales through 5 rounds could still achieve this pretty low line for him of 70 fantasy points that we would need, just a hair under 70. And then at the same time, there's still a chance that Burns could go under a strike line. It would just probably take a lot of mat time and him actually wearing Morales down a little bit. So I'm sticking to my bones. Sometimes what you have to do in DFS and in sports betting in general is you have to build a storyline, how you think something might go, and then go try to correlate it into a slip. And that is what we are doing here. And then in order to get this up to 6x, which is an incredible league industry leading, what Underdog and a handful of other sites, not many of them. If you set this play on Prize Picks, they probably won't even let you correlate it like this. But even if they did, it would only pay you $500, where my full unit is getting me an extra $600. That's a lot of meat on the bone to leave there, boys, if you set this on a play on a site like Prize Picks. Okay. So in order to get it up there, though, this pays 3x if you wanted to just run this as a 2-pick, which is not bad. But I have another play that I really like in this Matthews versus Del Valle fight. Now, I think that Yedier probably does win this fight. It's his UFC debut. He's a great prospect coming out of Cuba, I believe. I did watch a little bit of film on him. He looks like he could be a killer. And we've seen Matthews in the past be finished in his last couple fights, I believe. So, and at the same time, Matthews is a vet. He's got a decent sub game, a decent ground game. He will come forward with pressure and put himself out there. This could easily turn into a brawl. I have a hard time believing that this fight probably makes it to a decision. We're getting incredible value on this on Underdog at this lower 14.99 fight time. That means as long as the fight finishes before the final bell rings and it doesn't go to a decision, doesn't go the distance, we win. And I've seen this fight time on other DFS apps as literally as low as 14 minutes. So I feel like we're getting that extra minute of value over here. And these things do move. So if you can get this at this time, that's great. I would still probably play it up to about 14 minutes. I feel very confident in that. So Like I mentioned, this play pays you more on underdog, boys. Go sign up. Promo code SBAA. This is a correlated little duo that I absolutely love. And you guys, most of y'all, you're probably big fight fans. And you could probably think up some stuff just like this, where you have an idea in your head and you can say, man, I think that this person's going to absolutely rock this one. There's no way this guy's or this girl's hitting her strike line. But if they get a first round submission win or something like Jasmine did last week, then it just correlates extremely well. We had that play going last week too. All right, boys and gals, that's all I got for you today. Let's cash this freaking slip. Let me know who you think's winning the main event down in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm crazy or if you think I'm spot on with my analysis. Love y'all. Peace.